And so here was this situation where we broke Coach Wooden's greatest admonition to us every day, which was, do your best. That's all I ask. Your best is good enough. But whatever it is you do, don't beat yourself, don't cheat yourself, don't shortchange yourself, because that's the worst kind of defeat you'll ever suffer, and you'll never get over it. We thought it was all nonsense. Every coach I ever had as a child was a John Wooden disciple. We thought everybody had John Wooden. So when he started talking to us about the pyramid of success, because he would always talk to me and say, Bill, you're the slowest learner I've ever had. And when he would tell me that, I would look back at him and say, Coach, you call me a slow learner, but that pyramid of success that you keep preaching to us about, Coach, there's only 15 human values and personal characteristics in there. It took you 14 years to put 15 words in place. Now, come on, Coach, let's pick the pace up a little bit. But we thought it was all nonsense and foolishness. And it's really simple to memorize all this stuff. Industriousness, enthusiasm, friendship, loyalty, cooperation, intentness, initiative, alertness, self-control, physical fitness, skill development, commitment to the team, poise, confidence, competitive greatness, flanked by the two external words that he added years later, faith and patience. And then he would always talk about the 7-point creed that his dad gave him when he was in high school. Make each day your masterpiece. Drink deeply from all sources of knowledge. Make friendship a fine art. Prepare for the tough times that are sure to come, and 3 others that I can never remember, but I have no memory. And then he lived by his 2 sets of 3s, and he encouraged us to make that same choice. Don't lie, don't cheat, don't steal, don't whine, don't complain, don't make excuses. That covers a lot of ground. And then he had his maxims, endless maxims. Be quick, but don't hurry, whatever that means. Failing to prepare is preparing to fail. Happiness begins when selfishness ends. Never mistake activity for achievement. The worst things you could do for the ones you love are the things they could and should do for themselves. When everybody thinks alike, nobody thinks. It's okay to disagree, just don't be disagreeable. And then the one that he wrote for me on the day I graduated from UCLA, to Bill Walton, it's the things you learn after you know it all that count. John Wooden. That sits on my desk to this very day. And then he had, while he had all that stuff, the one he kept coming back to on a constant basis, he would always tell us, guys, basketball is just like life. It's not a game of size and strength, it's a game of skill, timing, and position. It's not how big you are, it's how big you play. It's not how high you jump, it's where you are and when you jump. And so I'm scratching my head and I'm saying, Coach, this makes no sense at all. You're telling me, please, that basketball is not a game of size and strength? Are you kidding me? Kareem has all the records, Shaq has all the money, and Wilt has 20,000 girlfriends. What is up with that? And he looked at me and he said, Walton, you are the slowest learner. Don't you realize it's not about stuff? It's not about material accumulation and physical gratification. It's about training the mind to become that champion, think, dream, exist to be that champion. Most importantly, though, it's about subjugating the ego. The ego, which is a good thing, which can drive you. But the ego out of control will destroy everything. Because ultimately, when things fail, it always comes back to 3 elements. Lack of honor, selfishness, and greed. And so while he was constantly doing all of this stuff to build up the foundation, what he was really trying to get to was the tools that he had used himself to overcome the adversity, because Coach Wooden was the first great player. But then, as everybody experiences, you had to stop. He got hurt and he could no longer play. So he became a high school English teacher for a salary of $3,000 a year. He took the athletic director's job, the baseball job, and the basketball job to get an extra $1,000 a year because he had a wife and 2 young children. And so he changed. And he always lived by that mantra that all progress requires change, but not all change is progress. He had a maxim and a mantra for everything. And we never got to the one about the student and the teacher, so I'll just throw that in right here. The student. You'll never learn what you don't want to know. The teacher, you have not taught until they've learned. And it's not how or what you teach, it's who the teachers are themselves. And so What he was really trying to get to on a constant basis, though, was those tools for when the ball bounced the other way, for when you were down and you couldn't get up, for when nothing was working. And that's when he talked about the motivation, what's going to drive you, the four most important skills in life: balance, quickness, creative imagination, empathy, the confidence needed to get the job done, the confidence developed over a lifetime of putting everything you have in to becoming who you are at that constant position, the fork in the road.